Hey guys, so I've decided that I want to get back into using my YouTube. I had a different channel I used years ago, and I actually really enjoyed making my videos, so I'm going to come back and start doing it on this channel now that's attached kind of to my Instagram fitness food page. So if you want, go take a look at that and like it as well. I'll leave the link in the description below. So today I wanted to start off with a quick video showing you guys how I'm going to food prep my food for the week. I'm not meal prepping, I am actually food prepping. So I'm going to wash all my fruits and veggies. I'm going to chop them and put them in containers and tell you a couple tricks on how to keep your food from spoiling so fast when you do this, especially with pre-chopping and washing your stuff. So let's get into. Alright, so this is my sink. As you can see, I have a pound of spinach in here, and it is soaking in just clean cold water. I've already washed my bell peppers, and I just have them sitting on the side of the sink that's pre-cleaned. And then I have some strawberries in a bowl with some cold water and apple cider vinegar in them. And then I have my salad spinner in the container that my spinach came in. So I'm going to first start off by drying all my spinach in here, and then I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to randomly layer paper towels in here to absorb any additional moisture and change those out every few days. So let me show you how I do that. Alright, so inside my salad spinner there's a little basket. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to add spinach out of my sink. And as I do it, I'm going to slowly add it because I want to check my spinach as I'm putting it in here. Because if you have any bad spinach or greens in general when you do this, it will cause them all to spoil really quickly. And so anything that looks even remotely like it's going soon, I'm going to take out, like this one. It's kind of hard to see, but it's kind of torn and wilted and stuff over here and stuff. So I'm just going to stick it to the side, and I'm not going to use it. I'm going to take it out. So I'm setting it on the side of my sink, and then I'm just going to kind of see how much of the water I can kind of just drip off on its own. Stick it inside my salad spinner. I'm going to hopefully line this up. There we go. And then I just spin this hammer. And you can see all that water just flying out along the edges. And so you want this to get going as fast as you can, obviously, to get as much water off as you can. So I'm going to pop it open. I'm going to take my basket out. I'm going to pour this water back in the sink because I don't need it to just keep collecting. And then I'm going to take the spinach and I'm just going to pour it into this container that it originally came in, like I had said earlier. And so I have about half of my spinach washed. So I'm going to take a half a paper towel. I just ripped them because I have full-size ones. If you buy the select a size, just take one partition. And I'm just going to set it in there. And then I'm just going to keep repeating this process until all of my spinach is picked through, cleaned, and dried. And then I'll end with putting another piece of paper towel on top. And so when I get to that point, I'll put another paper towel on top, and I will put it in the fridge with the lid on it. And then whenever that paper towel gets, if and when that paper towel ever gets kind of, let's see. Alright. So if and when that paper towel gets really wet and soggy and stuff, I'm going to take it out and just replace them. And so what it does is it draws the moisture away from your greens, so that way that they can remain dry. and they don't mold as quickly and wilt, and they'll stay fresh and crisp longer. Alright, so now that all my spinach is dried, spun, and put in the container, I am going to move on to my bell peppers. So, like I said, I already had washed these in the sink, so I'm just going to cut them in half and pull out the seeds. And I'm going to make this like my extra bowl now, so I'm going to put the center in there. If you don't already follow my Instagram and stuff, I talk about how I actually do save my veggie extra pieces things to make broth with. So I will put those into my freezer bag at the end. But until then, I'm going to kind of just toss them into this bowl. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking out the centers of these bell peppers. If you've never cleaned them, it's where all the seeds are at, and the veins that are attached to it. Alright. And I'm going to pull out a small bowl for it. And I'm just going to slice these ones down real quick. So I'm going to do bell peppers two different ways. This first half I'm just going to slice down, make sure they're all separated. Okay, and then I'm going to group them all back together and I'm going to dice them. I just do a rough dice. I'm not one who cares too much if all my veggies are the same size and stuff, because I don't really cook my veggies very much anyways. And so I'm just going to put them into this bowl. So I'm going to do half of the red, and then I'm going to try to attempt to fit half of my green bell pepper in the same container. And so this will be used for things like omelets and breakfast scrambles. I will add them into salads and stuff like that throughout the week as I cook. And so as I add them in, I'm just going to toss them because I want to kind of intermix them a little so it's not all the red on the bottom and green all on top. And so there we go. As you can see, it's not actually, I'm just going to dump them out. I'm going to re-add them in so that way they're all mixed together like I want them to be. So that's that. And so, like I said, I'll put these into salads and veggie omelets and stuff like that. So I'm going to set them aside. I'm going to take this next one, the other half, and I'm just going to julienne it basically. Well, not really julienne, not that thin. I'm just going to slice them down. And I'm going to put these into another container. And these are going to be more or less just for snacking on. Or if I maybe end up making like fajitas or something one night. So I'm just going to slice them down. So there we go. Mix them up again. Make sure they're all individualized. And I'm going to grab a container again. And I'm just going to shove these all in there. Set those aside. And what I'll do now is I'm just going to quickly rinse off my cutting board to get all the bell pepper off of it. Put that back over here. And I'm going to drain these strawberries that I had over here. I'm going to refill it with water just to kind of rinse them off. I'm going to do that twice, just to make sure all the apple cider vinegar is off of them. Alright. Drain those off. Bring them up here. And I'm just going to prep these according to how my family eats them. You can definitely cut them however you want, but I'm just going to cut them into fourths. And so soaking these in the apple cider vinegar is what's going to keep your strawberries from spoiling so quickly. So that's why I did that for them, as well as it helps get all of the dirt and grime and stuff from the fields off of them. And I wish I would have shown you what they looked like before I started soaking them, because now you can see just like how bright red they are. It definitely makes their color pop a lot more as well when you soak them. And I just have a pint of them. I think it's like a pound of strawberries. It's just one of the larger containers. And if you have any strawberries in, I mean, these will last for about a week in my fridge, if they last that long without being eaten. If for some reason they're not all gone, probably by like Wednesday, Thursday, I will actually just put them into a freezer bag and freeze them and use them for any smoothies and shakes and stuff like that that I make. Or I will use them and freeze them to turn them into homemade ice cream. And it just makes it super easy to not have to buy extra fruit and being less wasteful just by being mindful of what's in your fridge and knowing when to transfer it into your freezer. And so there's that. And one more piece of leaf. Alright, and so obviously that bowl is much bigger than I need, so I'm going to switch it out to a smaller one. So I got a smaller container that will fit them all. I'm just going to put these all in here. Awesome. And so, as you can see, it fits exactly in that container. After doing this long enough, you'll just know which of your containers fit how much of whatever product it is that you personally are using and or prepping. So again, I'm just going to rinse it off, get the strawberries off of it. Rinse off both my knives. And so I'm going to do a couple of tomatoes next. I just have Roma or plum tomatoes, depending on where you're at, on what you are familiar with them as. And so I just cut them in half. I'm going to take the centers out. And yes, I don't need the comments. I know it's an overkill to use a cleaver for this. I'm going to get a tiny one because I'm just going to do one tomato probably in this container. And I'm just going to roughly chop this one. The reason I do this is my daughter will just literally use this as a snack and will come out and just eat these out of the bowl. So I will just toss them in to a little bowl. The greatest thing to know is when you do this and your veggies and your fruits are pre-cleaned, pre-chopped, and just ready to go, they're a lot more likely to be eaten by not just you, but everyone else in your house, including your kids. So if you know what your kids like and you're trying to get them to eat healthier, try to make sure you have that stuff always available to them. And so I'm just gonna put this tomato in here for her. And that's all I'm going to do with that. And then, what else do I have? Alrighty, and so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make pico. Pico de gallo, it's basically a roughly chopped salsa or salad, depending on where you're from in there. So I have this amazing little chopper. And so it has blades in there, and it has the things up here. And it'll just kind of help me chop things. And so what I'm just going to do is I'm going to set my tomatoes in it. You just push down. And as you see, it just kind of pushes through and cuts them. It's very loud. So I'm going to do this real quick, and I'll come back when I get to the next step of it. Alrighty, so I have 3-ish Roma tomatoes in there, and I have a jalapeno in my hand, and so, let me do this so you can actually see. I'm just going to cut the stem off, and I'm going to basically quarter this jalapeno. Cut it one way and then the other. And then I also have an onion, actually, that's in my fridge that I didn't finish using from the other day. So I always keep onion in the fridge in a baggie if ever needed. And I'm just going to third it into slices. And this is just because it makes it easier for the chopper to do it. So the same thing as the tomato. I can put 2 pieces of jalapeno in. I just have to cut them to make them fit. So that's what I do. And then onion, which is the loudest and hardest to get through. And you just kind of shake it as you go to make sure everything moves out of the way so you can fit more in there. Alright. And so I just shake mine. And so now I'm just going to take this piece out. I'm going to scrape down any of my tomatoes that came up through this little hole and stuff and put it back in. And then wipe off the bottom. Be careful of the blades because they are sharp, obviously, as you do this. And so looking at that, I think I'm going to add a little bit more jalapeno in there. I just don't feel like there's enough jalapeno in there for my liking. And so I'm going to put another half in there really quickly. Alright. And so what I'll do now is I'm just going to take this piece out. Set it over here to be washed. Throw me a spoon real quick. Just make sure this is nicely mixed. So for traditional pico de gallo, you would add cilantro into here, lemon or lime, and some salt. I'm not going to do that because I will use this into like my omelets and stuff, as well as eating it as a snack, or just enjoying it with some chips and stuff like normal. I'm okay with it not having the cilantro and stuff in it, and so is the rest of my family, so that works for us. And so I just shut it and I put it into the fridge just like that. So I'm going to rinse all this off because it has a bunch of tomato juice on it. I rinse my stuff just so frequently because that way you're not intermixing as many flavors from thing to thing. And so I'm just going to take this onion and I'm just going to thinly slice it. This will get used into my salads and in regular cooking. So I'm just going to quickly slice through this onion for you guys. Alright, and so I just have slices and into another glass bowl. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is really all I do when it comes to food prepping for the week. I just prep all my fruits and vegetables for the week and according to what my plans are for what we're going to be eating. And I hope you found this useful. If you did, please give it a like and a little thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. Again, I will post my Instagram page down below so you can go follow me there. And I will see y'all back on next time I do a video. Have a wonderful day.